Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Who Moved the Market. I'm Surabhi Upadhyay. It's a Friday and the street with respect to the primary market action is definitely feeling good. Overall, yes, there's profit taking going on, but today's listing has been nothing short of scintillating. I could say the drone has really taken off. Yes, you perhaps have already guessed it. I am referring to IdeaForge, a stock that made its debut with a 93% gain. That's nearly doubling, from the issue price of just around 672. So what's going on with this company? Well, we have Surabhi Sutaria, my colleague from the research team, to help us understand what this company does, what it's all about. And we'll also be joined by Harshit Kapadia of Elara Capital to get a sense on how we should understand pricing for a company like IdeaForge right now. So thank you very much, Surabhi and Harshit, for joining in. By the way, I must tell viewers that, Surabhi, and you'll remember this, right? This, viewers, is the Three Idiots company, if I could say that. Remember the drone in the movie Three Idiots? Well, it was manufactured by IdeaForge. So that's some trivia to kick things off. But I'm already breathless, Surabhi. I mean, 90% and still counting.
It's been a crazy listing, and I think it's going to go even higher.
Okay, so tell us a little more about what the company does. It is one of the country's largest drone manufacturers, right? And also tell us about the issue, because this issue was oversubscribed 106 times. That's insane appetite for a company. So tell us a little more about what kind of money was raised and also what the company does.
Sure. So they were looking to raise around in the range of 600 odd crores, of which like 240 was the fresh issue, and the rest was the offer for sale, where some of the promoters were looking to sell off, and also some of the earlier investors in their company, right? As you said, it was subscribed 106 times. Qualified institutionals, subscribed over 120 times, non-institutional around 80 times, and retail investors weren't far behind, they were above 80 times as well. So strong demand across segments, and we've seen some market investors also get in. Now, as you said, it's one of the largest drone manufacturers. They have approximately 50% market share, and they have, different kind of drones. They weigh differently, anywhere between 2 to 7 kgs. Another thing is, their flying time, 25 minutes to 120 minutes. So they have different kinds of drones. They also have communication range, which differs from like 2 to 15 kilometers. So all of these parameters, I think, are important for the drone world. We are all, new to this.
New to the street.
Yeah. So we are all learning as and when the IPOs come. I think there was a smaller IPO in the drone space, in the SME space, which was Dronacharya, which was also into the drone manufacturing. So, more and more players that are coming into the drone manufacturing space.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm with you on that, I think this company is in such a sweet spot. Anything relating to defense as a theme has been flying in the market. And, then you come in with market leadership in the drone segment. So it's very, natural to understand why people are excited. But this is a show where we also do the nuts and bolts. So it's very important to keep financials in mind. And tell us how the company has been performing there, revenue, margins, etc.
So actually, the revenues, it's not on a big base, considering we thought it was 100% premium. The revenue is just around sub 200 crores, 180 crore levels. They have an EBITDA margin of 25%. In the last year, it was 45%. We spoke to the company earlier, so they said that sustainable EBITDA margin for them would be in the range of 30 to 40%. And they could, potentially do a revenue of 2 to 3 times from the current levels. But a lot of that depends on their order book execution. So they don't have a specific timeline. It's not possible to double their revenues in 2 years or 3 years time frame, because the order book visibility is not out yet.
Oh, so we don't have an idea of the order backlog.
They have like a 192 crore order book as of 31st March 2022. But with the kind of defense orders that we've been seeing, I'm assuming that they have significantly gained newer orders since then as well. So they did allude to us, that there are a lot of orders in the pipeline. So once they close those, they will announce that. And I think with now
subsequent quarters,
we'll get to see that.
Okay, all right. And just very quickly, profits. The company did turn profitable. I think last year they turned profitable.
Yeah,
right?
like in the last 2 years, so they had around profits in the range of 30 to 40 crores, 44 crores for last financial year, 32 crores for FY23.
Okay, all right, got that. Surabhi, thank you very much for setting up the basic hygiene factors around this IPO. Okay, now the harder question. What do you do with a stock that's shown a 90% gain on listing day itself? Harshit, now over to you. As Surabhi pointed out, I think the background is fine. It's a great space to be in. They have market dominance in this drone space. But what do you do now? I mean, 90% plus. What next?
So when we see companies like IdeaForge, who are market leaders, as should be also mentioned a while back, and who are a first mover advantage always in the market, always gets a extra premium in the market. So I think the company will continue to get an extra premium over what the private defense companies get. So I would certainly be looking much more positive at this point in time as far as the valuations are concerned. Though the stock has doubled, but I would still be looking at how the order pipeline is going to. So as partly pointed out by Surabhi, so that is looking extraordinarily well. They are right now into surveillance and mapping related roles. They are adding more portfolios in their bucket, which will also mean that I can do more orders in a very near-term time frame. So that is going to expedite my order book growth for the company. And given it's the only company in this space, in the listed space, it will always get an additional markup over everyone else.
Okay, so you're expecting premium valuations to continue because, I mean, there's a something called the scarcity premium in the market because you don't have too many companies from that same space. So drones is a very niche space listed. So typically markets end up giving what is a scarcity premium as well. Harshit, I was reading up a little bit about the founders and it's interesting. I think there were 3 partners and they're all ex-IITians. The company was incubated in IIT Mumbai, I think in one of the think tanks that IIT has. And it counts Infosys as well as Qualcomm among its, I think, early investors. So in terms of the background and pedigree, it looks all good. But you tell us, I mean, anything else in terms of just what investors should be aware of if they are keeping this company on their radar?
So as far as promoters are concerned, so the 3 partners, the 3 gentlemen who have started this company, they were the batchmates. One was a senior, one was a junior. As an experimentative stage, that led to the creation of drones. It was more of a fantasy in the earlier stage, then it actually became a hobby, and that hobby got converted into business idea. And that's how they build up the company. So the passion is extremely important when we see defense companies, defense stock. So that is really a main drive or a motto which the company has. What one has to be very cognizant on the promoter side is how are they looking to upscale themselves, because you are a new player in this category, but given that this is something which is very easily replicable, so your competition is going to be coming up very fast. Now, how fast are you able to upgrade and upscale yourself is something that we'll be keeping a very strong watch on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those promoter partners today would be singing all is well for sure, looking at the kind of listing that they've had. Okay, Harshit, now let's try and understand the valuations. Where do you think IdeaForge would be trading right now if it go by trailing earnings? And, in any case, if we look at trailing earnings, a lot of these defense stocks are trading at, I don't know, 60 times, 65 times, 70 times. So it becomes a little difficult to wrap your head around valuations. Help us understand this.
So, so this is a phenomenon we have also earlier seen in other companies as well. For example, just to give an example, which is not completely on the defense side, on the EMS side, when Dixon got listed, there was a sudden rally which we saw in Dixon, and the valuation went up to 60, 70 times. So when you are in a market which is very nascent and you are one of the first adopter, you will generally get a valuation anywhere between 50 to going up to 60 or max to max 70 times as well. But as let's say next 5 years time frame, we see the valuations coming down as more data comes from the Ministry of Defense side, the pipeline gets more clearer. The competition visibility also improves. So all these factors will lead to some amount of scarcity premium coming down from the drones market.
Okay, got it. Now, Harshit, I think if someone's looking to build a medium-term portfolio purely on fundamentals and they want to have a defense play, and they're looking at mid-cap or small-cap defense stocks, right? So there are a bunch of companies that come to mind. There's Paras Defense, there's Astra Micro, and a couple of others. So then help us pick and choose. Should you have a basket approach, or are there certain ones that you prefer? And then help us understand valuations. When, for instance, Paras and Astra, forward earnings, if we talk FY24, FY25, what are the multiples they are commanding? And what's the range with which you would have comfort that, okay, there's still some gain left on the table?
So as far as my stock picking is concerned, on the private side, though I don't cover these companies, but something which I'm very positive on is three names, which is two of them you rightly pointed out. One is Astra Microwave, other is Paras Defense, and third is Data Patterns. The order of preference is Astra, Paras, and then Data Patterns. In terms of valuation, Astra is somewhere close to around 20-25 times. Paras is close to 20 times, and Data Patterns is upward of 35 times. So I have a more comfort in terms of valuation for Astra Microwave and Paras compared to Data Patterns.
And that's FY24, right? That would be FY24 earnings? Okay, FY25. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. The moment you hear valuations in 20s, it sounds like nice and comfortable. But I get it. You're looking forward out to FY25, and therefore their valuation multiples. You were saying, sorry, please complete your point on how you're sort of stacking up these three.
Yes, and so further, what I would be looking at is in terms of where the growth opportunity is maximum. So within these three companies that I'm looking at, I see more growth coming to Astra Microwave, Data Patterns, followed by Paras Defense. That is how I look in terms of stacking in terms of growth. Okay. So certainly Astra Microwave would be one of the preferred pick in this space. But being cognizant that I don't cover the stock, it's just a something positive view that I have on the stock.
Okay, so just elaborate on that. Why do you expect more growth for, say, a Data Patterns or Astra, for the benefit of viewers who haven't studied these companies in detail? I mean, again, I go back to my central question. If someone wants to play the defense opportunity and is looking at smaller sized companies, not necessarily the BEL or the HALs, but smaller private players, then which is a good segment to look at? And where do drones fit in?
So the segment where we are seeing a lot of actions coming is on the radars and the communication system side. And why do I, choose these companies is primarily because they are the ones who want to become integrators in the defense space from a component manufacturer. Right now, they are just a subsystem or a component manufacturer, but their ultimate goal or long-term goal is to become an integrator, similar to what Bharat Electronics is doing right now, which means my order inflow momentum right now, which is at, let's say, 200 crores or 300 crore per quarter, can move up to 1,000 crore a quarter. So that could be a big delta change which can happen, but it will take at least 2 to 3 years to see these kind of numbers coming in.
Okay, Harshit, then final call. I mean, I know you don't cover the stock right now, you don't have a rating, but I'm just asking like a question. What would you tell a friend? If a friend today asks you, you know what, Idea Forge is at 1,300. Should I buy or not? What would you tell your friend?
So I'll recommend them to hold at this point in time.
Okay. Okay, I think that's a safe way out after what has been a phenomenal listing pop of 90% plus. Harshit, great talking to you. Thank you very much, as usual, for explaining the sector to us, and very helpful for our viewers as well. You have a fantastic weekend, and we look forward to future conversations. Well, with that, we are out of time, but not out of ideas, as you see. Lots happening on Who Moved the Market. 2 o'clock is your date with us every day of the week. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you again on Monday.